I want the interior of this Lexus to look as good and be as protected as the outside.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Today, we're gonna do an interior ceramic coating on this beautiful Lexus. We polished it, we washed it, we decontaminated, we put a 5-year ceramic coating on the outside. This car has close to 30,000 miles, it's 10 years old. The interior looks like it's new. But even though the interior is new, we're gonna clean it. We're gonna use a rinseless wash dampen towel. That's all you really need. We could use interior clean protect, but the rinseless dampen towel is gonna do a great job cleaning this interior. Then we apply the interior ceramic.
The prep is easy, the application is super simple. Let's go on inside and we'll show you how it's done.
The most important thing in prep is having a clean interior, and that's what we have here. We unfortunately had a bit of a camera incident and lost the footage of us cleaning the interior, but we use rinseless wash dampen towel, and a dry towel to clean the interior.
If it were any more elaborate than that, I would say, let's just do it again. Let's show it on camera. It's that simple. Wipe it and wipe it with a dry towel and you are totally prepped.
Right, totally prepped. You could also use interior clean protect. Both of them do a spectacular job of doing this. Now, for applying the coating, we do not want to take this bottle and spray it everywhere on the interior. Not a good idea. More is definitely not better with this product. The less you use, the easier it is going to be, and the better job you're going to do.
Spraying it into the applicator, that's a different take on a coating. Usually we drop it out of a bottle.
Well, we have a sprayer on the bottle, and if you had a dropper on this, it would probably be way too big. You'd be putting too much. Now, I'm not going to spray from a distance. I'm going to put the applicator tip right up against it, or the sprayer tip, and just lightly pull. Not full pulls, just a little bit. And I don't know if you can see these 3 little lines, Nick.
Yeah, 3 lines.
So I've got 3 little lines on the applicator, and then I'm going to start, for myself, I like to start with the steering wheel. And we just put it on, get it everywhere on the steering wheel, going around and around, and making sure to get the back as well. Very important. This will not change the look of the steering wheel. This will not change the feel of the steering wheel. This will not make it slippery. This will not make it glossy. This will not make it greasy feeling. All it will do is make it much, much easier to keep clean, to clean in the future, and prevent wear or reduce wear.
How would you rate its darkening effect? I know you say it doesn't change the appearance, but on leather and vinyl, at least initially, folks are going to see it darken.
Right, maybe 5%. It's not a big change. And then once you've applied it, take your leveling towel, and this is a towel that you don't necessarily care much about because it is going to get hydrophobic. Even if we put it immediately in our wash bucket afterwards, it's not going to save it. So I did the whole back of the steering wheel, so I'm making sure to get the back of the steering wheel to level it. Just like ceramic coating on the outside, you can leave a high spot with this, and a high spot is not fun.
It's also very easy to do this.
Right.
So just knowing these basic rules, what to do, what not to do, and then you get to run wild, you know?
Yeah.
Get your interior coated and enjoy the process.
And then after that, I've got my pad primed. Remember, I put 3 lines on. Now I'm just going to do 1. Now, our interior ceramic, it's safe on leather. It's safe on plastics. It's safe on Alcantara. It's safe on painted trim, aluminum trim, piano black trim. Any interior material, it's safe on.
How do I know if I'm using too much? Because usually that's my issue, is I use too much product, Ivan.
It'll be difficult to level, and it'll look like you've used too much. If your surface looks wet, if your surface looks like, ooh, what happened here? That is, you used too much.
And what are the benefits of interior ceramic on a vehicle's plastic and leather and vinyl?
It makes it easier to clean, first and foremost. Secondly, interior ceramic is going to make dust less attracted to your interior. And a vehicle that has less dust attracted to it, it's going to stay cleaner longer. Also, especially if you have light colored seats, like the people that have the white vegan leather seats, yes, it's safe on vegan leather, that'll make it more difficult to stain. You're still going to get the gene transfer from going in and out, but then it's going to wipe off a lot easier. Now, you'll notice I'm also putting on the navigation screen. That is perfectly acceptable. We actually want it on there. Now, this vehicle is actually a 10-year-old vehicle. The interior, the exterior, this whole vehicle is in spectacular condition.
I mean, for 10 years old, it's basically pristine.
Yeah. So it's not a touch screen, but if you have the newer cars with the touch screens, it actually makes it a lot easier to clean. You know, you're gonna get less fingerprint marks on that touch screen. And we know that the cars today have huge touch screens, so you're basically driving with a TV. So Nick's got some carbon fiber-like material there, and we can see that he used a little too much on his applicator.
I was gonna say, yeah, it looks like I put way too much on there. Should they be concerned if it doesn't look like it's soaking in, if it just is floating on the surface? I guess I'm used to coatings really absorbing into the paint or the pores.
Every plastic will react differently. So I have the paddles for the paddle shifters here, and all the stalks on the steering column, because those are frequently touched areas on a car. We hope, anyways, especially the turn signal.
How important is leveling when we're doing interior ceramic?
Extremely important, because getting a high spot off is very difficult. You know, if you have a regular ceramic coating on the outside, if you get a high spot, you can take some gold standard polish the next day, or even some app, and get it off. The interior ceramic, though, it's going to be a little more work. And I don't see myself polishing an Alcantara area.
Right, I don't want to really bring out a heavy-duty polisher on an interior, unless, you know, you do have a cloth and seat cleaning technique involving a polisher, Evan.
Right, we do, but you know, it's not what we want to do here. Now, where is it important to put this interior ceramic? Everywhere you touch. So your seats, steering wheel, center console, the whole vehicle for that matter. But the durability of the interior ceramic is actually quite long. On the driver's seat, if it's a daily driven car, you're gonna reapply once a year. The rest of the vehicle, if you're a lone commuter, your doors, your, you know, the other areas, the dash, etc., you probably never need to reapply.
And one thing folks may not realize, interior ceramic also safe on fabric and on carpet.
Right. The shifter, very important to do, because that is something you touch every time you get in a car.
So high touch areas, how important are those?
Yeah, very important.
How about high contact with your
clothing?
Well, I was gonna say your butt. Like sitting on the driver's door, I would reapply to the seat more often than anywhere else because I'm gonna go in and out.
Yeah, once a year on the seats, steering wheel, things like that.
And then everything else, just kind of set it and forget it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Is there, I don't know, a frequency that I could use it and I'm still safe if I like using it after every detail?
You can if you want, but that would definitely be a waste of product.
Have you heard of anyone doing that?
Not yet, thankfully.
They listen to us apparently.
Yeah.
Or hopefully.
So center console is done, dash is done, navigation screen is done. The next thing, we get out of the car and do the seats. Now, people are asking about Alcantara. That's a question we get a lot whenever we do a video about interior ceramic, and we've done a number of them, is what can you do with Alcantara? It just happens that the A-pillars here are covered with it. And Alcantara, just so you know, is a fancy way of saying microfiber. So it's not some super high tech, you know, you breathe on it the wrong way, it's going to be destroyed fabric. It's actually quite a tough fabric. Another frequently touched area that some people neglect is this little overhead console with the lights, the switches for the sunroof.
What about the visor here?
The visor is definitely one of them.
Okay. And would I go ahead and do all the Alcantara here as well?
Yeah.
Normally we wouldn't do the headliner.
No, the headliner, not something you necessarily want to do. But the Alcantara here, and you can also do the mirror. Now, we typically say don't do the interior glass. The reason for that is you can potentially get fogging. And on this mirror, we might get fogging someday. But that being said, it's not a life critical thing if you get a bit of fogging on your vanity mirror.
That's true. The reason we're so nitpicky about that or stringent about it is because, yeah, glass is a safety thing. So do not coat your interior glass, folks.
We want you to be able to see outside the vehicle. But the sun visor is something that people touch on a regular basis. And whenever you're touching something on a regular basis, that's where you want the interior ceramic. So the Alcantara, very simple, apply with the applicator, level with the towel. Now, if it's a high nap Alcantara, because some of them are a higher nap than this is a very short nap, you can use a little horsehair brush to get in there. And of course, when you're doing the Alcantara, you're gonna go through a little more product because it is soaking in. Let it soak in for a second and then level it with your towel.
Is there ever a direction to leave Alcantara, to leave it standing straight up by chance? I don't know, it's more of a steering wheel Alcantara, issue we might run into with commenters asking us, hey, how do I leave the Alcantara the right way?
You could do that. Basically, it's go in one direction. Now, the mirror face I'm not going to do, but I am going to do the back of the mirror. Because again, I don't want fogging on the glass of the mirror, but the back of the mirror, we want to keep it clean. Wherever we want to keep something clean, we use interior ceramic. The applicator, as you can see Nick is doing, it's easy to get into these areas. We just fold the applicator. It goes in everywhere you need it to go, quite simply, quite easily. Then we do the same with the towel.
This applicator is so versatile.
It is. And you'll notice that Nick may have had a little too much on his applicator there.
I was getting ready to level, but you're very correct.
When you see beads, not a good idea.
But really, this isn't a beading coating.
No, a lot of people think this will cause beading everywhere. That's not the point. The point of interior ceramic is to make your vehicle easier to clean the next time and many, many, many times after that. Other people have questioned, well, if I put it on leather, it's gonna stop breathing. There's a plastic coating on your leather to begin with, so it stopped breathing a long time ago, but it's not gonna impede any of that. It's not filling any of the pores in the material. What it's doing is, if we look at a pore of the material as a volcano, it's not filling the volcano, it's actually just lining the volcano. So preventing stains from grabbing.
Yeah, and if you get a stain, it makes them easier to clean. So the whole idea is, if there's a big whoopsie, if you dunk a gallon of water in your car, it's just gonna go through all the car. But if something stains the carpet and you clean it up relatively quickly, it'll clean up so much easier.
Yeah, it basically pre-stains the carpet with something that is clear. So what's happening is the product that could stain your carpet, like a coffee or soda or something like that, can't get into the carpet or can't get into the leather to stain it. For something like the steering wheel, what's gonna happen is, we're not worried about staining on a steering wheel, but the oils from our hands can get on there, and it's gonna make them much, much easier to clean off. In future, all they're gonna need to clean this interior is really a damp towel. Now, if you want something just a little bit glossier on your interior, we have two solutions for that. One of them is NV ceramic sealant. You can use NV ceramic sealant similar to what we've done here. You can either spray it on a towel, apply and level, or you can actually use this applicator just as we've done here. Or our tire dressing. And people, what, tire dressing on the interior?
It's a bold move, Ivan.
This isn't the old tire dressings from decades ago. It's not gonna be greasy, it's not gonna be glossy. It's just gonna add a bit of depth and shine to your leathers or plastics. Now, time to exit the vehicle, do this armrest, and then do the seats. Now, if you're intending to use tire dressing, NV ceramic sealant, do the ceramic coating first because they're going to prevent the ceramic coating from bonding properly. Now I'm putting 3 lines on my pad because I've got the door to do here.
So door first, then seat. Talk about our strategy.
Normally I would do the seat first, but to make it easier for you guys, what I'm doing is I'm doing the door panel. Nick is doing his door panel. When we're done doing the door panels, we'll record Nick doing the seat. And you want to get into all these areas, especially around the door handle and where your armrest is, because you're touching that frequently.
Can you make any guarantees about interior ceramic? Because there's a lot of people who just want certainty. Tell me how long it's gonna last. Tell me exactly what it's gonna do. I wonder what you'd say to those folks, Ivan.
I would say 1 year on the driver's seat, 5 years everywhere else. And the best time to apply it is when the car is brand new. Now here, there's a recess there. I just put the material on my applicator. I'm not gonna go into that recess now. So I'm gonna do this larger area, spread it, and as I'm spreading it into my pad as well. Get all this here, and then when I just have a little left on my pad, that's when I can fold it, get into that crack. Same here, fold it, get in behind here, put that to the side, and then I can level up.
So I know sometimes for our plastic restore and protect, it's our exterior trim product. On like a front grille, we might use a brush to get in there. Is there any place for a brush in leveling or applying interior ceramic?
Not necessarily, but if you have a very intricate area, like maybe a speaker grill, that could be an area that I would use a brush, but you're not getting it soaked and you're not spraying it everywhere. And typically a speaker grill will get dusty. It's not gonna get a lot of contact.
What would a high spot look like, and what would I do if I got one?
So a high spot will look like that. It's just a darker area, maybe a bit of run, and if you get it within an hour, you do that. Get it within the next day, re-wet it with an applicator, and keep going over and over it until that high spot goes away. After that, unfortunately, you're polishing. And I would do it with a microfiber towel by hand.
With the gold standard polish?
Yeah, with the gold standard polish or app, but gold standard polish is probably what's going to be needed.
If folks want to find these products, they're intrigued. Where can they go, Ivan?
Well, they can go to DIYdetail.com. They can also visit many distributors online and around the world. And there is a list of all our distributors on the website. So even if you're not in the USA and you're looking for DIY Detail products, we have a worldwide list that tells you everywhere the products are available on the website. Interior ceramic is extremely economical. We will have done the whole interior of this car, seats, the door panels, the dash, the console, the back seats. We will have used maybe a quarter of a bottle. Now, carpets are something you can do with this. I don't necessarily recommend it. It uses a lot of product, and having some good floor mats that are the full coverage type floor mats, put it on the floor mats, don't waste it in the carpet. Another great use for this product, convertible. Put it on the top of your convertible. Clean it, make sure that it's bone dry, then spray it on, brush it in, let it sit for an hour, put a second coat in, brush it. Your convertible top will last longer and it will stay cleaner much longer. And that goes for both fabric and vinyl tops. So now this door panel is all done. It's nice and clean, it's pristine.
Okay, I'm doing the seat bottom, Ivan.
Yep, perfect.
3 sprays into the applicator, and
now with all the lines on the seat, you want to sort of break it into sections.
okay. So I did this section. Let me just start there then, this bolster.
So start with a section, wipe it off, make sure you're getting deep into those cracks. And again, I need to remind people, this is a 10-year-old car. Look at the shape of this interior. This is what happens when you properly maintain your vehicle.
This is when you go on Carfax and see what would it, go for.
Yeah.
And you check the excellent condition box. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Not many in this condition, Ivan.
No, and you checked that box twice. May I have the product there, Nick?
Yep.
Now, it's only got 28,000 miles, but still. So those that are concerned about perforated leather, well, this is perforated leather.
So after I apply this, how long until I am able to drive the car or sit in these seats?
1 hour.
What's happening in that hour?
The product is cross-linking to itself and to the leather, or the plastic, or the, whatever your material is, your cloth. So after 1 hour, safe to get in and drive. So on this seat, I started with a bolster and I'm working my way across the seat. Because of the perforations, moving the applicator around in different directions. Same thing with the leveling towel.
I'm just hitting this lower section while I'm down here.
Yeah, the side of the seat with all the controls, because yes, you are putting your fingers there.
And you can see that from outside too, so we want that to remain clean. I know it's what you can see and what you can't see, and as a purist, everything should keep clean, but
Yep.
let's be honest, what you see is kind of what you care about.
For professional detailers offering this service, you can offer the full interior or the wear item interior. And that's something that a lot of people will go for the wear item portion, so just where you're touching. So seats, door cards, console. That makes it more economical for your customers and easy and faster for you to do.
Figured I'd work my way out to Ann, Ivan.
Yep.
I didn't exactly have a process here. I don't know if that's how you do it, but that's the method to my madness here, is to the bottom, working my way around, now coming back up here. I suppose it's just about having a system, right? Being meticulous in whatever way works for you.
Yeah. As long as you can remember where you've been and where you need to go, you're fine. If this were a family vehicle, you want to make sure these seat backs are well done, because kids have a tendency to put their feet in the strangest places.
Even when you've told them how many times not to do it.
Yeah.
What are your feet doing there? Not that I've ever said that.
No. Headrest, also important.
I told my daughter, I said, you know what I do for a living, right? It's offensive to me morally to have shoes hitting the back of a leather seat. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Boy, this just has a really nice matte OEM feel to it now, Ivan.
Yeah. One thing that concerns people a lot with interior ceramic is it going to feel slick afterwards? Is it going to feel slippery? Not at all. Speaking of seat backs and back seat, I don't think anyone's ever sat back here. It doesn't look like an extremely hospitable place anyways, but final area for me to do, the door sill. I leave that till last because I might be getting in and out of the vehicle. And the side of the dashboard here that you can't do with the door closed. With interior ceramic, it's not going to change the fragrance of your vehicle. It's not going to change the look of your vehicle. It's not going to change the feel of your vehicle. What it will change though, it makes your interior much, much easier to clean, much easier to maintain, and actually helps prevent wear on items like seats. That sliding in and off of the bolsters is actually going to make it so that you're sliding a little easier, therefore less wear on this leather. How are you doing there, Nick?
Great. I'm just admiring my handiwork, Ivan.
Yep.
This is a little less intimidating than a ceramic coating on paint for people because they don't have to polish first.
No.
So I think it's just something literally anybody could do right now with no training, no detailing expertise, and be really pleased with the overall results.
100%.
We're done, Ivan. I exasperatedly breathed there for dramatic effect. It wasn't even hard.
No, it's not difficult to do an interior ceramic. Interior ceramic is very, very simple to do. It is something that if you're getting a new car, do it before you drive the car too much. Just quickly go over it with the rinse and stamp and towel or interior clean protect, your choice. Then do the interior ceramic, you're gonna thank yourself many, many, many times over.
We did a Corvette where Ivan actually showed you how to use interior ceramic on carpets and on
Alcantara and all sorts of things.
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about that part of the process, the video is right here.